to Church versus the World, the channel where I talk about all things that I find interesting, and I hope you do too. Tonight we are reviewing Saints and Sinners, issue number 1 by the Rippaverse. This book right here. Yeah, this one right here. If you haven't, you should totally pick it up. I'm going to go ahead and give that part away. Yeah, but alright, let's dive into it.
Lay me at the bottom of the river. The devil has come to carry me home. Lay me at the bottom of the river.
So, Saints and Sinners opens with a story by Heel versus Babyface, or as, depending on what you know him as, called Chasing Ghosts. And that particular story features a fan favorite, Ingrid Valdez. And now, it separates her from the rest of the Alpha Corps and sends her on her own solo journey. And I'm trying to figure out how to say this without spoiling anything, but it introduces some new bad guys that are pretty interesting, and it shows you more of her emotional depth towards something that happened in Alpha Corps number 1. It shows that these things have consequences for the characters in these stories, and it's wonderful. I mean, from the way she's treated up until like just the closing of the book, the scene that closes that story is pretty beautiful if you take into context. Like I said, I'm not going to say anything, so I'm not spoiling anything about these because I want y'all to go read it. It is awesome. But like I said, as if this was truly your first adventure in the comic book or writing realm, you killed it, bro. Keep going. I want to see where this story goes. But before I move on, I will say that if you like action and you like cool vehicles, if you like comic books, then you're gonna love Chasing Ghosts. It was a great way to open it up. I mean, because it opened it up with action, it opened it up with honestly enough, some heart to it. Like, I mean, you could tell like this was a story that like Az wanted to tell. Like, and Ingrid is a wonderful character. I really hope that you get your chance to write like an Alpha Corps arc at this point, or hell, just an Ingrid solo book would be awesome. Or maybe create your own character for the Rippaverse. That would be phenomenal. I am totally impressed with Chasing Ghosts. I guess I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I'm not doing spoilers. I'll do an extra spoiler episode if y'all want to hear about it. Just leave a comment and let me know. Alright, thanks. And I'm going to move on now. Alright, so Across the Bear is a really interesting story. And I'm not saying I didn't like it, because I did. I liked it. But, I mean, that one and the next one were both stories that just kind of left me going, okay, so what's next? I'm not saying they weren't good. I loved them. But, okay, so Across the Bear, the characters are waking up in Mijiak, which, you know, always leads to a pretty interesting story if done right. And but I mean, I can also tell this is part of a larger story. Like it's not like a self-contained little nugget. It's a pretty interesting opening. Like all of these, I hope they round out, and either they get their own solo book, or maybe Saints and Sinners 2 is going to follow the same group of people. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's going to be like Saints and Sinners Volume 1 is going to be these characters. Saints and Sinners Volume 2 is going to be other characters after. I don't know how they're going to do it, because it is an anthology book. But all of the stories that they've told so far are really good, and they surely need to add to them, because Across the Bear sticks you with this character, and you're not sure if you like the guy at first because they show you like this flashback, and you're like, wow, that's rough. I mean, but then the ending of it, the ending of it just left me like, I got a little bit of this character's backstory, so where's it gonna go? Like that's where it left it. And honestly, that's fine. That's the way a good first issue of something should be, or a first book. It was really good, but like I said, that one and the next one will both just leave you going, huh? Where's the rest of it? I mean, they're good, so I'm sure I'm emphasizing that fact because I want y'all to go pick this up, especially if issue 2 is going to continue these stories. So, and the artwork. Hold on, we're going to go back to Chasing Ghosts for a second because the artwork is amazing, and I mean, Chasing Ghosts is really good too. I mean, like the artwork, yeah, they kill it. And I think his name is Michael Cross. I believe. I believe they tell you that at some point in the story, so I don't think it's a spoiler. But his last name is Cross. Across the Bear. I mean, come on now, like, and there's other reasons for the name, I guess, but I like the fact that his name is actually Michael Cross because I mean, like, and the imagery is awesome. But all right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. I'm hoping Drunk 3PO continues the story because it seems like I want to know how they got from the reveal at the end of Across the Bear. I mean, not the end, but the middle to where he was at the beginning. Yeah, there's there's a whole lot of missing context in this story, but it's done on purpose to, add suspense. Like Drunk 3PO, you really know what you're doing, and because you are an author, so I can't wait to see where it goes. All right, we're gonna move on to the third story. It was written by Eric July and Elias Martin, I think, is the one who did the art. The art was really good, but the style is a lot different. Uh, it's neat. Like I'm glad that there's actually, you know basically other tales in this universe with different art. It all doesn't look the same. That's what I like about it. Like I mean, it's sort of like, not all of the art styles have to be completely in flow. I really like it. Um, and it's a really interesting story. Like, it starts out with a character in prison, and I get like it's it's like a legal drama kind of, but it's really cool. Like, I mean, none of the stories are bad, and there's like there's some element of corruption in this story, and there's a callback to a character in the Isom series, and it's a character I already liked, and I really just kind of wonder where it's going. Like, what is it about this guy that makes him special? I mean, like, they're adding to the universe in substantial ways, and I like it. I mean, it's neat because, like, all these little stories that they're not sure would make would fill a 90-page book or an 80-page book, they're still telling, and they get to tell in this shorter form. I love it. And like I said, there's really not much to say about the weight of restraint, except for what I said. Like, there's a bunch of good callback. There's a callback to a character from previous Rippaverse stories. That seems like it's going somewhere, because it's a really cool character, and it's almost like a prison story. I like it, like, but I don't know where they're going with it though, like, because the way they ended it, you're just like, oh, okay, but what? I mean, it's it's enough to keep you hungry for more, and that's what comics are supposed to be. They're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to leave us wanting more, until, of course, the conclusion. But the con- even the conclusion for the original. Oh wait, I'll talk about that in another review. But I got ISOM number 3 too to do a review on, and that one concluded the first arc, but still kind of left you going, okay, so what's next? I mean, but we'll get to that later in another video. But Bone God, wow, the imagery in Bone God is well, let's just say Mahler kicked ass. Mahler wrote Bone God. He is a another YouTuber, like as from Hill versus Babyface. He he does a lot of I think he's on a lot of like the Nerdrotic podcasts, and he's one of the boys, and they gave him a shot because he's also, I think, was originally a writer for something else. But I will say, I hope whatever this Bone God thing is, like, really takes off, because the art is amazing. Who did the art? Let me look. Let me look. The art was Of course, it's Will Conrad. Will fucking Conrad. Of course, it's good art. Okay, but like I just I don't know. Like it's creepy. Like this. Okay, this is this is gonna be along the vein of Blood Ruth, and it I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I really am. I think this is like the origin story for a bad guy, is what I'm thinking. I mean, this group goes into this deep, dank, like macabre temple, and they just keep referencing immortality like the whole time. But the guy they've paid to take them, like, is freaked out and doesn't want to be there. Like, he knows what's up, is what I'm saying. Like, he senses from the get go something is wrong. But it leaves you, all of these stories leave you like, okay, where's the rest? Because they're so fucking good. Uh, Bone God, though, was probably my favorite. Bone God and Chasing Ghost were probably my favorite so far. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna go through and reread this book, and I might do an update if y'all want me to, because it is so lit. Oh man, Bone God left me like, why is this not a whole book? That's what Bone God left me like. I mean, so I'm hoping and praying that it gets its own freaking, just like, spin-off, like, or either that, or this character shows up as the antagonist in something, like, and I mean, there still needs to be more, because you still don't know much about this thing that shows up in the tomb. I don't want to spoil it. Just go get it. It's yeah, it it's a lot. And if I must say, the next story is The Underdog. I I had a lot of fun with it. It was fun. It was a good story. It 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 had It had tuna in it from. I'm thinking it's the same tuna from Horseman, Welcome to Florist Park, but I'm not sure. Because if it is, that means this is like a prequel story, I guess. Going back in time, showing you a little bit about who Tuna was. But it's a wrestling story, and for those of you that grew up watching like WWF or WCW, like it was fun. It really was. The Saskas did great. Cliff Richardson, or is it Richards? Richards. Sorry, Cliff. If y'all ever watch these, sorry, Cliff. It's Cliff Richards. He's a great artist. He, I think, is Eric's artist on ISOM. I know he at least did the first one, first or second one, first and second one. Oh, I usually keep up with these things, but I was just so excited whenever I read the third ISOM that I don't remember if I don't remember reading the artist like I normally do. But no, Cliff Richards and the Saskas did awesome on Underdog. It is truly there's a truly likable I guess protagonist, the underdog of the story. He he's a fun guy, and it's not as grandiose as the other stories in Saints and Sinners, but it is one that I want to see continue and see what happens. I'd kind of like to know if the wrestling characters are going to show up somewhere else in Florist Park, maybe in someone else's story. I mean, you already had Tuna being the bad guy from Welcome to Florist Park, so that's another one that I haven't done. I'm thinking about reviewing Horseman, Welcome to Florist Park, and Horseman #1 in the same video. I don't know, but anyway, I'm thinking about doing deep dives into some of these characters, like now that there's more than just one title, and some of them have some crossover. I'm thinking about doing deeper dives into these characters because I mean they're really good, and the writing is so concise that even though Chuck Dixon wrote Brian Solari, and then the Saskas took Brian Solari and put him in Yaira #1, like all of the characters seem to flow really well, even though it's different writers. I mean, so these guys are just like sitting in a room talking about, like what would this person do? How would this person react in this situation? I mean, the Rippaverse has been pretty solid so far, and it's done nothing but grow substantially and get more and more awesome titles like Saints and Sinners. And like I said, I like Saints and Sinners because it's almost like traditional comic issues. Like Chasing Ghosts should be issue 1 of a traditional comic if Ingrid Valdez had her like solo comic, you know, like back in the day. I mean, because Riververse, their comics are thick. They're like 90 pages long. I love that. Don't ever change that format. Keep going. But at the same point, I'm saying like traditional. If you were to pick up an Ingrid Valdez comic in a comic shop, like you would an old school Spider-Man, it's like what 10 pages, 16 pages, usually. I mean, that's what these remind me of. I mean, so if they do a Saints and Sinners 2, I'm hoping it's the same cast of characters because they've all been pretty good so far. I mean, Underdog was a lot of fun. It's not a traditional superhero comic, but it's fun. It's a good story, and I don't know what way it's gonna go. Like, is it gonna turn into something like you would read in a traditional comic story, like something supernatural gonna happen? Is there gonna be like a point to where like the main character has to go all like John Wick on somebody, and like I don't know. I mean I don't. I mean, but you got somebody like Tuna in there, and we all know like where Tuna winds up. But like, could this be something that happened earlier in his life to where he got punked by something? I mean, I don't know. It's a fun story. I can't wait to see what the Twisted Twins do with this character, and if he's gonna don some sort of. I don't see him like donning like a superhero persona, but I could see him being like a, like I said, like a John Wick type character that doesn't like have a costume or anything, but just is a rough, tough, badass type character who goes around doing things. You know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do with the character, but I like it so far, even if it is just a wrestling story. It's cool. I like it. Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to the last story in Saints and Sinners. All right. So one little push. One little push. I hope they keep it going because I want to know if I'm right about who the character was. It it seems like we're like that one was dealing with some sort of cosmic entity. Now the story itself follows a guy named Kane who's an assassin, and it was an awesome story. Uh, but it seems like it was a one off, but I don't know. Like I said, there was another little cosmic entity in there. I'm thinking that's what it was, and if I'm right, then they could easily tell another story. But like, and it's sad because like one of the characters that gets taken out, no spoilers, but he he's one of the characters you follow through this story, and he's not necessarily a good guy, but he was interesting, and I was kind of hoping, and I'm still kind of hoping because you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, I don't know what they're setting up in that story, but it seemed like he would have been a really cool like antagonist to like the Horsemen or maybe Sersha or something of that nature. Or, but like I said, I don't know what they're doing with him. It seemed really cool, but it was kind of like he was kind of like Batman if Batman was an assassin. Like like you follow him through some of his prep time and stuff. Like it's neat. I don't want to give too much away. Like I said, I really want y'all to go read Saints and Sinners #1. It's definitely worth it. It is definitely worth it. Oh, and I guess while I'm here, I could review another short story that just came out. All right, so the other short story that is not in Saints and Sinners that I want to do a review on, but I'm not sure if it is going to take. I'm not sure I can do a whole video on it because it is a short story. It was Catch and Kill in rippazine #4. Awesome, awesome. Oh my god! It was written by the Saskas as well, and it follows these two new characters, uh, Betty and I can't remember Valiant. Yeah, his name is Valiant, and it is another really cool take on the Rippaverse, seeing it through the eyes of like investigative journalism, and it is so much fun. Uh, they're both really cool characters with secrets, and by the end of it, Val knows Betty's secret, but Betty doesn't know Valiant's secret, and like that's all I'm gonna say. But it's got some pretty heartbreaking moments in it because you meet this really cool character at the very beginning of the story that doesn't make it all the way through, and it's sad because he was a pretty cool like it was a pretty cool little side character that I would like to have seen show up in other Rippaverse tales. His name was Mickey. That's all I'm gonna say. But I mean, he just seemed like a swell fella, and he had like it was one of the few side characters that I've seen that had a little bit of screen time, but it went a long way. I mean, like he they pretty much told you who Mickey was at the start of it, and it was pretty sad. But like I said, it's a great way to see. It was great to see the Rippaverse through different eyes, because not everybody's going to be a superhero or an uber badass, and it's really cool to see this world through the eyes of investigative journalism, or even the pro wrestling story that they told earlier. That was neat. You're seeing it through the eyes of different folks. Uh, even Salvage PI, you're seeing it through the eyes and ears of Salvage, who's not exactly a superhero. He's he's a PI. He's got a license to kill. Then that was a really cool story. Like Salvage, yeah, like all these side stories through the rippazine have been epic. Like, I mean, I can't wait for just to read about Blue Shift. That's gonna be cool. But he's a superhero. Like I like these, saints and sinners and rippazine side stories. Yeah, there's saints and sinners. Like you had Ingrid Valdez. You had you know some traditional superhero type people, but then you have those other side characters, like like the guy who's in jail. You'll see that if you whenever you read it, or like I said, the random other plethora of characters, and some of them are from bad guys' perspectives. Like I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with the Michael Cross guy. Like all of these side characters and smaller storied characters, a lot of them could have their own 90-page book. But we're getting them in these cool little tidbits that just make you want more, I mean, like the Dirty Deeds crew. That was another awesome story. I am going way off topic here, but this whole world is fun. The one thing I will say is I can't wait to start seeing more cities. Like, we have Flores Park, Texas. That's awesome. And obviously this world is not anywhere near our world. It's different. Like it diverged somewhere. But I can't wait to see other cities. Like regardless if they're in Texas or other parts of the world, I can't wait to explore this universe more. Because I mean, at this point we have Flores Park, which is fine. I like Flores Park. I mean, you can tell the story there. But it's kind of like you have Batman and Superman. Like you stick them both in Gotham. Like eventually, I just don't want it to have the same fatigue that Marvel does, where every single character is in New York City, because it seems like New York, like crime wave or crime levels in the Marvel universe should be non-existent with as many characters are running around New York, and I don't want like all the characters being in like Central City, like or all the characters being in New York or all the characters. I want to explore this world a bit more broadly. Like Horsemen started off in another city, but then they came to Flores Park, which is cool, but still. I mean, you have the Alpha Corps in Flores Park. You have Horsemen. You have Isom, who is kind of outside of Flores Park, but in Flores Park. I mean, I want to know. Okay, I want a city map. I want to see how big this because I write stories, and right now there's only one city, but it's because my city is a mega city. But then again, the world I created is kind of like a dystopian. It's not really dystopian. It's like between regular reality and cyberpunk, like right there in the middle. So it's kind of like Dallas turned into Night City, so to speak. But I mean, I'm going on a tangent, but I can't wait to see more. I can't wait for the rest, and I'm going to do some more reviews on this stuff, like while I'm at it. So, because I got more books, and I'm gonna get more books. I'm gonna put in my next order payday. So, join me for the next one, and I hope y'all are picking up the Ripperverse and the Ripperzines. If you don't know if you're gonna like the Ripperverse, pick up the Ripperzine. It's $8, and you get a little taste, and you can go all the way back to Ripperzines 1 through 4 and buy them and just check out the little snips and see what you're interested in. But that's all for now, guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed the show. I really hope you were enjoying the Ripperverse as much as I am. I can't wait for Norfolka. That looks awesome, and I don't know how to explain that, but it's like a bunch. It's like a rock band full of a bunch of gods. but or Vikings. I'm not sure. It's kind of like one of the dudes looks kind of like Thor. The other dude kind of looks like Loki, but he's like black and has like weird, cool green fire magic. And the Thor guy has like this really bright ass blue bow and arrow. Like it looks dope. It looks dope. I can't wait to get a hold of that and review it. And hopefully that'll be soon. Check. I will catch up with y'all later, and I'm out. And if you like what you heard here tonight, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a comment below. Any engagement helps.